We acknowledge your greatness. We acknowledge that you are preeminent, that Christ before, us behind. So we just want to give you praise in this moment. Somebody just lift up your hands and begin to praise. Say you are good. You are good. You are good, Lord. Your greatness is established among the heavens. Say you are good. Say you are good. You are good. No one like you. No one beside you. You are good. Hallelujah. We just desire the presence of the Lord. We just desire you, Father. We desire to be enthroned. We desire to have you be enthroned on our praise. So, Father, this morning we just thank you that you see things in us that we cannot see in ourselves.
Yes, Lord.
And we just acknowledge here in this moment the greatness of our God. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God? Come on, sing, and all will see how great is our God. Someone lift your hands and sing with me, how great whatever I want, which is really dangerous. Really, really dangerous. So I have two things I want to bring to you. One is I have a word I want to deliver to you because I need your spirit in the right place, that I can give you some practical instruction. Can I give you both?
Yes.
All right, because I love to fire people up. I want to ignite you, but I want to give you enough of that flame and enough fuel so when you walk away from here, you don't snuff out.
Yes.
So I want to give you both. I've got some things I feel like I want to share in regards to this theme of fearless. And then I want to, I'm probably going to activate you prophetically, and if you want to go home, you can. But then I want to talk to those of you who have ideas for business and who want some practical steps toward resource streams and toward. So would that be okay with you? Yeah. All right. So I'll even give you a chance to leave if that is boring. I promise it will not. So I'm here this morning, and I'm so grateful to be here. My name, obviously, is Wendy Walters, and I've had a long, long journey. How did I get here? And I just want to speak to you why I'm qualified to stand in front of you and talk about the things I do. You're ever curious why? It says, know those who labor among you.
Right.
Right? So I'm not standing here as someone who hasn't ever walked through a dark place, who hasn't ever been through a valley. And so I want you to know that I grew up. I'm the 7th generation ministry family, full-time ministry. 7 that we can count. We think it's more, but 7 that we can actually track, that we know. Full-time ministers gave their life to the gospel, served here and overseas and missions and churches. And 7 generations. It's an amazing heritage of faith.
Amen.
Every single one of them, though, lived in poverty. Because, poverty was next to godliness.
Mm-hmm.
Because if anyone who was given to the word had any inclination toward wealth, they were suspect.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't trust the motives, and we could all see, you could name them, you can think in your mind who the televangelists of the day were that, just took up offering after offering after offering after offering and put their face on everything, and you saw their jets and you saw their mansions and you saw right, and that was so incongruent with the DNA of my family, and we didn't know anything in between.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know anything in between abusing wealth and having no wealth.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know what was in between. So since we didn't want to be that, we just weren't.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember my dad was a full-time pastor, and he had to build barns. He built barns for a bunch of Amish guys because the church paid us $25 a week. $25 a week for a full-time pastor to raise a family.
Wow.
And he did it, man. He did it. And he would go and build barns for Amishmen just to raise enough money to keep his family. Mm-hmm. It never dawned on anyone in my family gene pool that we could go into business without forsaking the call.
Amen.
So I'm 7th generation ministry family and 1st generation entrepreneur.
Amen.
And God is using me all over the United States to come beside people who are in nonprofit situations, either they are itinerant ministries or their churches. And God is causing me to provoke in them to step into streams of wealth, to create for-profit businesses. Because let me just make a distinction here. Everybody heard of a 501c3.
Right.
It's called a nonprofit organization, right? That's a government distinction that we've been given.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as we've got it, we should use it. But here's the thing. Names are important. Those of you who follow me on Facebook, you know I name the day every day. I'm real into what you name things. So this is a curse when you say I'm a non-profit organization.
Come on. Come on.
That's a curse. Well, if you look into what it means legally, it simply means that the profits of that organization are not supposed to benefit a person. You're not supposed to have dividends that go to individuals. You understand?
Right.
So the legal definition of what it is, I get, fully in agreement with.
Right.
But the title, non-profit organization, is something that we have put on like a yoke.
Come on.
How many that you, pastors in here or people who run a ministry, know that if you have no profits, you're not an organization for very long? You have to be profitable. The distinction is what the prophets are going for. The prophets are supposed to be going to the mission or the charter of that organization.
Right.
Well, when you run a business, you can do whatever the heck you want with your profits.
That's right.
If you want to pay them to the CEO, fine. If you want to pay them to the shareholders, fine. If you want to donate all of them to your 501c3 charitable organization to do whatever your mission and calling is, fine.
That's right.
Well, somebody just had a light switch go on.
Mm-hmm. Come on. Come on.
So you can either rely only on tithes, offerings, and donations. And listen, if you're not a church, if you've got a ministry God's called you to that's a parachurch or in addition to church, how are you going to rely on tithes? They belong in the local storehouse.
That's right.
So you're actually after just donations. You know, it's kind of hard to take a kingdom if your hand is out all the time.
Come on. Come on.
It's kind of hard to go be It's kind of hard to be a real powerful influence in the marketplace or among business people if they view you as needy.
Come on. Come on.
You might have the whole wisdom, the whole counsel of God, but if you're completely poor and broke, they don't want to hear what you have to say.
Come on.
And think about it, you don't either. Do you take advice from broke people?
Come on.
You're going to invite a broke person into your business and ask them how to make it work? I don't care how sweet they are. I don't care how nice they are. You're not going to do it. So I'm convinced in this day and age, as kingdom citizens, it is time for us to stop looking poor and needy and broken. It's time for us not to be sad and depressed and anxious. It's time for us not to be plagued with disease and issues. I'm calling you out today. You're Daniel. You stand taller. Your complexion is clearer. You run faster. You are smarter. You are the head and not the tail. It's time to look like it. It's time to act like it. It's time for people to understand that when you have the kingdom of God at work inside of you, there's something special going on here.
Yes.
I don't want to look like the world and smell like the world. I want my life to burn so brightly that they're curious and they got to know what I know. How many of you, just where you are, even in your workplace, do you look differently enough? Does your life look happier enough that they're curious about you? Or are your problems so close to theirs, they just say, well, she just has more meetings to attend than I do. So I want to provoke you today to some challenges. I want to provoke you to change your thinking. Because everything starts with a thought.
Right.
It starts with a thought, and then you come into agreement with your speech, and our words shape our world.
Right.
Where you are today, right now, is a result of all the choices you have made and all the things you have spoken over yourself until this moment. Can we agree with that?
Yes.
That doesn't mean that no one's ever done anything bad to you, or that there's never been somebody betray you or hurt you or abuse you. That doesn't negate that. And you can't necessarily always handle those things and make a change in the circumstance, but how you respond to the circumstance is always yours to choose.
That's right.
How you choose to speak surrounding that circumstance is always yours to choose. So I want to encourage you, like even myself, some of you heard just a bit of my story at the round table, where here I was, and my husband and I, God called us out. He was a research chemist for a cork company working in a lab, and I was a full-time worship pastor when God called us into the marketplace. Now listen, I didn't leave the church broken, wounded, betrayed, hateful, hurted. I wasn't a broken person when I left ministry. I didn't leave at the bottom of my game when I didn't know what else to do. I left when the anointing was powerful. I left when I had so much fulfillment. I never even felt like it was a job. It was so much fun. I could never get enough of what I did. It wasn't because I'm tired and I'm weary and I'm broken and I need to. Can I tell you, that wasn't it. I heard the voice of the Lord calling me to something different. And I had to lay this thing down like it was my firstborn child. I didn't want to leave that. That was really, really, really fulfilling for me. And God was asking me to step out and step into the marketplace, something I didn't know anything about. Or I was a total novice at the bottom of the ladder. And so my husband and I stepped into business with high hopes and big dreams,
You can read in my book, Intentionality, we have a chapter called Intentional Faith, where I talk about how we burned the ships. When Cortez came to the New World, in order to make sure his men made the colony work, he burned the ships.
Mm-hmm.
So they couldn't go home.
Right.
Your option is this works or you die. Well, that's exactly what we did. We both quit our full-time jobs, picked ourselves up out of Savannah, Georgia, and moved to Dallas, Texas.
Wow.
We burned those ships. This works or we die.
Mm.
So we moved along and we started in business, and we were really passionate about what we were doing. We were good at what we did. Lots of excellence. People loved our work. Referrals. We didn't even have to advertise. We had plenty of people coming in, business flowing in. We'd wake up in the morning and get dressed, whether I had customers or not. We always dressed for work. Always. I always dressed like I was headed to an appointment, and I would face the north, and I would have conversations with people who were not there.
Yes.
Come on.
And I would face the south, and I would have conversations with people who were not there, needed what I got. I would talk to them. I'd call them in. Y'all think I'm crazy?
Come on.
I'm crazy like a fox. So in the course of time, that business started to work well for us. It started to provide things for us that we had never known. We got involved and we started making investments, and wow, this is something, this is amazing. And then like that crisis of 2009 hit, when all the housing went down and all the people got indicted, and okay, so here we were, and most of our clients were ministries. We had 9 of our ministry clients go bankrupt right in a row. Right in a row. And one of them was our largest client, seriously, our bread and butter. Went bankrupt, belly up, and left us holding the bag. So suddenly our company that's functioning in cash flow and everything we're doing, overnight now we're on the hook for books, for raw materials, for CD and DVD production, for equipment that we've purchased that we always use in rentals for these events. Suddenly we go from a cash flowing business not only to no cash flow, but in debt overnight. And can I tell you, it doesn't take long. Anyone who's ever been in debt knows it doesn't take long for that to compound. And compound when you can't make payments and you're late, and the interest rate goes from here to here overnight. And you can go from a little bit of debt to a lot of debt in a fast time. Anyone ever been there?
Yes.
And I'm betrayed, and I'm hurt, and I'm embarrassed. And now a lot of this was because I had no sense. I trusted that Christian people would always pay me, so I didn't make them pay up front.
No.
I trusted when I said net 30 and sent them a bill, I didn't know that meant net 180, net 365, net never. Anybody ever had a net never client?
Wow.
So before long, there we were, sort of on the face of like the best advice around us was bankruptcy. Y'all are in too deep, you're not getting out of this. And I'm hurt. I'm crushed. Because these were not my business clients paid me. These were all the ministry clients that didn't pay us. It hurt even more when some of them just reformed under a new 501c3, started all over again, never even called us.
Wow.
I would see them on the circuit selling books we made for them that they never paid for.
Wow.
They just changed their name and got a new 501c3. Can I tell you that puts a lot of bitterness in your heart?
Yes.
I, for a long season, shut down the prophetic flow in my life. Because if that's what prophets were,
Come on.
I shut it down in my life. And I still love Jesus. I still went to church. I still served him. Most of my worship was crying and praying and complaining. I complained before the Lord. I was really good at it. I was a professional complainer. Murmuring was my second language. And that's when I told you some of the stories that I was laying in my closet one day praying because I didn't know where the mortgage payment was going to come from. And because some of these leaders were so important, we didn't even know who to go to. We didn't know who to talk to about it, so we just kept it under our hats and dealt with it. We even talked to our parents, much less spiritual parents or mentors. We just felt, we were so embarrassed. We're going to handle this. We're going to figure this out. We're going to pay this off. So not only we went into business without good business practices, now we're stuck in debt and too embarrassed to tell anybody. We're going to figure this out and then we'll tell the story. Anybody ever been that? Once I get this all cleaned up, then I'll let you know what happened.
Yes.
In the moment, hi, how you doing? I'm blessed and highly favored.
Mm-hmm.
Liar, liar.
Come on. Come on.
So that's the season where I was in my closet praying, and I literally was praying and asking God for a Boaz. Now, I'm married, just celebrated 27 years, so I wasn't looking for a husband. But I was asking God for a Boaz. Just bring us alongside a really powerful ministry or a really powerful businessman that's got a lot that we can just work for them. We can just glean the edges of their field, God, just enough so that we can pay for our debts and take care of our children. And just God, I was praying. I literally, my words were, I was asking him for a Boaz. Asking God for Boaz. Where's our Boaz? And that's when he came to me and tapped me on the shoulder and was like, why do you want to be Ruth?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you rather be Boaz?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you rather be looking for Ruth? Wouldn't you rather be the one who owns the fields? Wouldn't you rather be the one who is got everybody in your employee? Wouldn't you rather be the one whose fields are big enough that you can say, just leave a little for them, let them enjoy.
Mm.
And that's when I changed my mind. Okay, I would rather be Boaz. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that means to own things. My parents never even owned a house until after I was in high school. We grew up in rental properties. I played in the dirt underneath the trailer, in the trailer park. So the idea of owning things and the idea of me having enough business that I can pay employees or hire subcontractors was like, okay, what does that look like? Anybody right now, if you were thinking that right now, what does that look like? I barely can get enough money working 9 to 5 for somebody for myself. How am I going to move out of that state into a place where I've got something profitable enough that other people are gaining from the edges of my field?
Right.
So I'm not going to tell you that was an easy switch. I changed my mind and said, okay, I have to think differently. I'm going to have to learn some things I don't know. I'm going to have to go push myself into some situations and start hanging out with some people who know that. I'm going to have to humble myself, and I'm just going to sit there and drink coffee and keep my little mouth shut so they won't know that I don't know anything. I'm just going to sit there and nod my head and take notes.
Mm-hmm.
And I put myself around places where I could just hang out near people of wealth, near people who were making transactions. And I just hung out close enough to them, right on the edge of the circle. And I decided I belong in this circle.
Amen.
You don't know it yet, but I belong in this circle.
Right.
Somebody say, you don't know it yet.
You don't know it yet,
But I belong in that circle.
but I belong in that circle.
So it's a process. Once I changed my mind, then I had to ask God, what's the process? So it was a Good Friday, and I was sitting there, I was reading the scriptures, I'm meditating, I'm thanking the Lord, everything he forgave me, thanking the Lord. And he tells me, I got to go forgive the one who put us under. And this whole time I've been crying, because somebody stole my apples, and I want him to pay me back in apples. I want 7 times more apples than he stole from me. I could, you've done it. You 7 times, you're expecting it. I'm asking God, this guy stole my apples, and he owes me 7 apples for every one he stole. And until he pays me back apples, I have no restitution. So God taps me on the shoulder, and by now, things are beginning to change, and our business is beginning to grow and to take off. Now listen, we still kept that bad debt on the books. I don't know why, but we kept it there. So it was a constant reminder of betrayal. A constant reminder. Every time you saw a monthly sales report, you saw what was owed to you that you knew was net never. And God was like, okay, baby girl. That's how he calls me baby girl. Okay, baby girl, would you stop crying about your apples? Because that man ain't never paying your apples back. But if you'll just look to the right, you might notice that I put you in an orange grove. And I gave you the trees. And they produce continuously.
Yes.
So stop worrying about apple juice. Start enjoying orange juice. And let those apples go.
That's good.
Because God pays us back in different ways. And can I tell you right now, the people who did you wrong are probably never coming back to apologize.
That's right.
They are probably never coming back to make it right with you. They're probably not going to be the ones who are going to come and restore what they took. But God says, don't even worry about it. Your dumb bushel of apples. I gave you a whole grove of orange trees. I have done more than enough. Talk about 7 times, maybe 70 times 7. He's going to bring back restoration. Your God will make restoration for you. He will be the one to come and fight your battles, and you just have to realize that he's going to pay you back in a different way. He's going to pay you back in a completely different way, and you've got to realize it. So, okay, I get it. Now I got to call this guy and forgive him and cancel his debt. I talk to my husband. It's Good Friday. I'm like, baby, it's Good Friday. When I think about the Lord, how he saved me. So it's Good Friday. How can I not forgive someone on Good, Blessed Friday?
All right.
And I talked to my husband, and the first thought is, sure you want to do that? I'm really sure I want to do that, but I know we got to be in agreement about this, because it isn't just me, it's we. So we prayed about that for a minute, and after, we're talking, this is years later. We carried this thing around for years. And we come into agreement. We're gonna release this. We're gonna release this. We're gonna call him. We're gonna release this. We're gonna write it off. We're gonna let it go. The Disney song did come in my head. It just came into yours too. You're welcome. So I called him up, and I let him know. And then I had to deal with the fact that it made so little impact on him. Like, oh wow, I thought well, okay, thank you. Because it hasn't been on his mind in years.
Tell the truth.
I mean, it has bothered me every single time I saw a profit and loss report. It's bugged me every time I saw a picture of him out somewhere else flying first class. It's bugged me. He ain't thought about it in years. So now, not only do I have to deal with the fact that I've gone and I'm forgiving you and I'm releasing you, but you don't even, oh, thanks, that's nice. Can I tell you, God was testing me. God was testing me. But had it been an actual emergency, this is just a test of the emergency broadcast system. But you know what? I made that choice in my heart, and we forgave him. And nearly overnight, we saw this huge acceleration in our business.
Wow.
A huge acceleration. Because I had let shackles remain on me that were unlocked. Any of you walking around with manacles around your ankles, but they unlocked? You're just choosing to carry that weight around? You don't have to. It's your choice because you like being reminded. You like hearing those chains rattle, remind you you're a victim. Remind you somebody did you wrong.
Yes, it is.
Remind you where you came from. You have to. They had everything. They got to go to school. They had parents who had a lot of money. It reminds you. We put our own shackles on.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's
It
true.
isn't even a matter of you got the key. They unlocked. Take them off already. So that's just a little bit of the story of I wanted you to know where I came from. All right, and how this wasn't something that I grew up around business people and I knew how to do. This I shared over there. I went to school for English literature, and in year 3, I got my MRS degree. Think that in. And I bounced. I was just going to raise babies. I don't need this college degree after all, so I left it 3 years in. Didn't even finish that degree. So here I am. I'm unqualified. I'm a woman. I've been in full-time ministry since I was, 20 years old. 15 years in, 16 years in full-time ministry. I'm a woman. I don't have a college education. I know nothing about business. We started from ground zero, and then ground zero went to ground under. Now, how am I qualified to crawl out of this and see the favor of God move in my life to where I now travel and speak all over the country, speak in motivational events for business owners, consult in corporate boardrooms? How does that happen? You want to know, don't you? So before I do that, I want to talk to you just a tiny little bit about Fearless. We're here at a Fearless conference. And one of the things I love to do is to look at things from different perspectives. This is a gift I have with myself, and I'm going to encourage you to become your own best friend. Look at your neighbor and say, be my own best friend.
Be my own best friend.
Yeah, literally, I text myself all day. I am my own best friend, right? I tell myself things all the day. I remind myself things all the day. I text myself, oh, that's really good. I don't want to forget. I tell myself things all the time. Oh, look, I got a text. It's from me. So one of my gifts is I try to be my own best friend, which means I step outside of myself and I look at me and I give myself the same advice I would give to my best friend.
That's good.
Think about the things you say in your head. If you had a transcript, a written transcript of the thoughts going on in your head, and you read them out loud, you would be off your Christmas card list. You wouldn't talk to yourself ever again. You wouldn't tolerate anyone speaking to you. I mean, literally, you would be rolling your eyes and wagging your head if somebody actually said those words out loud to you that are in your own head. You know I'm telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So I need you to learn how to step out of yourself, look at your life, look at your situation, look at your circumstances, and treat yourself like this was your very closest friend. And you had to tell them the truth. And you had to tell them things that were for their own good and give them the kind of advice that would come out of your wealth of wisdom and your wealth of knowledge and your wealth of the word. I need you to become your own best friend. So I love to pull myself out. I ask myself really hard questions all the time. And I love to train people how to ask yourself hard questions. Because if you can learn how to ask yourself hard questions and get in the habit of answering, I'm going to tell you, your growth is going to go exponential. You will get exponentially stronger, exponentially wiser, exponentially wealthier. You will have an exponential level of influence. You will have an exponential level of divine appointments and opportunities when you learn how to ask yourself hard questions. And when you don't know the answer, guess what? You just flip them up to him.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't ever ask and you shall find.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us are just sitting there. We're waiting on an opportunity when you need to be working for an opportunity. Okay, so fearless. I was like, all right, fearless. I want to be fearless. That sounds really good. I want to be fearless. Now just hang with me. I'm going to get there. But if you're a fearless, totally fearless Christian, you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Because the fear of the Lord
Yes.
is the beginning of wisdom.
Right.
So there's more than one kind of fear.
Yes.
Everybody say more than one kind.
More than one kind.
Okay, so a fearless Christian, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom and knowledge of the Holy One. That's Proverbs 9:10. Fear of God enables us to praise God, to worship Him. You'll find that in Psalm 22 and in Revelation 14. It allows us to enjoy His benefits and blessings. You can't enjoy the benefits and blessings of God if you don't fear Him. It says, oh, fear the Lord, you His saints. There is no want to those who fear Him. Somebody say no want.
No want.
No want. That's Psalm 103. Great is His mercy toward those who fear Him. So what kind of fear is this? This is the kind of fear that produces awe.
Yes.
And reverence.
Yes.
This isn't like terror, except it can be a little terrifying when the Lord walks in the room. It's kind of that healthy, holy fear, right?
Yes.
It's if we're walking with the Lord, it's awe, it's reverence, it's respect. If we're at odds with the Lord, it is terror. It's cowering in dread. It's shrinking in guilt. You hear what I'm saying? It's the same God walks in the room, but the response of the person depends on the purity of their relationship. The purity of your relationship will tell you whether that fear is healthy and wholesome or cowering in dread. So God gives us another kind of natural fear that's good for us, the fight or flight reaction. He gives us fear that lets us know when we're in danger and to act quickly. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to be afraid of a car that's going to pass 2 inches in front of you. It gives you the adrenaline to get out of the way. That's a healthy kind of fear. That's not a bad kind of fear. That's a natural fear that He gave us, the good kind. There's also the supernatural fear that comes when you step into the presence of someone you know is a superior. Right? So when you step in front of a judge, or if the President of the United States were to walk in, or some of us, how many, if you're just me, it doesn't matter. There's somebody pulled over on the side of the highway. They're not coming for you, but you see the lights, what do?
Slow down.
The presence of a superior power causes you to check out. There's something about that. But when we're in the presence of God, there's this supernatural fear that comes on. We know we're in the presence of a superior. I know that He is, and it doesn't make me feel small. It makes me feel special that I have the right to be in the presence of the Most High. That's a healthy supernatural fear. And there's a certain fear that comes on people in the manifestations of the miraculous. When signs and wonders are happening, there's a real holy, reverent fear that comes upon. It's a healthy thing. So then, okay, so why do we want to be fearless, right? Because Christians, you need that kind of fear. That's the good kind of fear. We need to have that. But the wrong kind of fear is the spirit of fear.
Mm-hmm.
The wrong kind of fear is the spirit of fear. And the spirit of fear can only be combated by the perfect person of love. You know, you've been taught forever now. Just stay with me. Don't hang up. You've been taught forever that fear and faith are opposites.
Mm-hmm.
But the Bible doesn't say faith casts out fear.
That's right. Come on.
I'm a walking example that I can be terribly afraid and still step out in faith.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible says perfect love casts out fear.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I know. I love Kenneth Copeland too, but he's wrong.
Mm.
Fear is not the opposite of faith. Love is the opposite of faith.
Yes.
Only when we are filled with the love of God, it's my love for Him that compels me to move even when I am afraid.
Yes.
It's the fact that I am so perfectly convinced He has me in the perfect hold of His love that I can still do things even when I'm afraid. So that fear cannot block my faith, actually. That fear doesn't have the power to block my faith as long as I stay connected in love. Perfect love casts out fear. God has not given us the spirit of fear. Hear that? Spirit of fear. It's a different thing.
Right.
It's not an emotion.
Yes.
It's a spirit.
Yes.
That's a devil.
Come on.
That's a very different thing. And you know, combating a devil is way different than combating an emotion.
Yes. That's right.
Way different. But He's given us power, love, and a sound mind. I know many people, you know, and fear a lot of times, it's not even real. We're afraid of things that might happen.
Right.
They haven't even happened yet. But we're afraid it might happen. The possibility that it could happen causes us to obey the fear. So stay with me now. If the fear of the Lord is because I have such awe and such reverence for His greatness and His power, that fear, is it possible that when I'm operating under the spirit of fear, I believe I'm in the presence of an enemy who's superior?
Mm. Mm.
Am I in awe of what He might be able to do to me?
Come on.
Have I given Him such a healthy respect? Okay, whatever you say. Oh yeah. Y'all just felt that in the room.
Mm-hmm.
So we've literally, the awe and reverence that belongs as unto the Lord, that kind of fear, we have now lent that to the enemy. We treat him as our superior. And when he gives a command, we're so afraid in cowering and dread and terror of what he might be able to do to us because we believe he can do it. That is the same kind of fear that equates to worship when it's directed toward God.
Wow.
Can I tell you that he loves worship?
Mm-hmm.
He loves attention. He loves when he can cause you to obey his will. Mm-hmm. And you don't even know it because all you are is afraid. I know it. This is hard to preach, but it's the truth. I'm telling you something that's going to help you.
That's right.
So I want you to understand that you're combating a spirit of fear who's demanding awe and reverence from you. And who's guiding your steps and ordering your feet by the fear of what he might possibly do to you. If you have the audacity to disobey his desire and step in what you heard someone else whisper to you to do.
That's good.
So you've got to learn that you have authority. Satan is not your superior.
That's right.
Satan belongs under your feet.
Yes.
He belongs under your feet. He has no business telling you what to do and where to go and what might happen if you don't listen. That's just a thug. That's just a thug. And guess what? He's extracting protection money out of you all the time.
Come on.
He's extracting protection money of you all the time because you're just cowering to a thug who belongs under your feet. He is not your, somebody say, Satan is not my superior.
Satan is not my
You
superior.
don't owe him nothing. Not even an explanation.
That's right.
Not even an explanation. You owe him nothing. So the fear of lack keeps us from stretching into behavior that might produce abundance. Just the fear that this might not work keeps me from investing into a business idea or an opportunity or education. Because I don't know if it's going to pay off or not. What if I pay money and go to that class and then nothing changes? You know what? I'm just going to keep that money. The fear. And that's exactly what he likes. Because he knows if you change your mind and you change your speech and you change your behavior, you're going to be a different kind of person.
Come on.
So just the very fear of lack, the fear of being alone, the fear of being misunderstood.
Yes.
Can I tell you, when I stepped out of being a worship pastor, not only did my pastor not accept my resignation, most of my friends thought I was crazy. Right? And these are saints. These are my beloved. These are friends. What do you do? You're so anointed. People get healed under the sound of your voice. You're so good at this. I was in a community. I got to lead big community choirs, and it was a beautiful, beautiful, a lovely thing. My press reports were all good. It wasn't like, oh, you need a different day job. It wasn't like that. They didn't understand. Why would you do this? Why would you lay this down? I don't understand. So that you don't have a lot of support. Wait, you're going to move across the country and do what? Open a business? Wait. They didn't understand me. So I want you to look at something. I want to encourage you. Jesus walks on the sea. And just bear with me. I'm going to read this scripture and I'm going to tell you what it represents. Then we'll get practical. Okay, so immediately Jesus made his disciples get into the boat and go before him to the other side, while he sent the multitudes away. And when he sent the multitudes away, he went to the mountain. Someone say, to the mountain.
To the mountains.
Jesus went to the mountain by himself to pray. Jesus went to the mountain by himself to pray. Now when evening came, he was alone there, but the boat, somebody say the boat?
The boat.
Was now in the middle of the sea. Middle of the sea. It was tossed by waves. For now, at the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went to them walking on the sea. We know this story, right? Walking on the sea. And when his disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled. What's that? Is that a ghost? Well, that doesn't make sense. They cried out in fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them. Be of good cheer. Hey guys, it's just me, JC. Right? He identified himself to them. It's Jesus. Don't worry about it. It's Jesus. I'm here. And Peter answered, Lord, if it's really you, command me. Command me to come out into the water. If that's you, tell me. Tell me what to do. Tell me how to do it. Jesus gave him a one-word answer. Come. And when Peter had come down out of the boat, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw the wind and he saw the waves were boisterous, he became afraid and he started to sink. And he cried out, Save me, Lord. Immediately, Jesus stretched out his hand. My version is caught him by the top scruff of his head, grabbed him by the hair and jerked him out of the water, put him in the boat, and he said, Peter, such little faith. Why did you doubt me? You were walking on the water. The water got hard for you. It worked. Why'd you doubt? So when they got in the boat, the wind ceased. And then those were like, whoa, Jesus, you're the Son of God. You walk on water. Easy to convince. Now here's what I want you to get. Number one, the mountain that Jesus went to alone. He separated from the multitude and went for intimacy to the mountain of the Lord alone with God. Jesus went and was alone with God. No other people, no prayer partners, no circle of chain, not a corporate event. He went alone on the mountain with the Lord and got instructions from God. Intimate communication with God. The sea is the sea of humanity. The sea is the world, people. That's where Jesus was. Jesus was out in the middle of the world. In the middle of their storm, Jesus was walking out in the sea of humanity.
Yes.
The boat represents the church.
Yes.
Safe. They were all together, huddled together in that safe little boat, protected from humanity's sea.
See, that's good. That's good. Come on, that's good. That's good.
They were hanging out in the boat, protected from humanity's sea.
Mm-hmm.
Shielded from the storm the rest of humanity was dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Kumbaya, my brothers. Having their little worship service in the boat. Jesus wasn't in the boat.
Come on. Right. Yes.
Jesus was in the middle of the sea of humanity.
That's good.
So here's this guy who has the audacity. Well, if Jesus is out there, that's where I should be.
Yes.
If Jesus is out there in the middle of that sea, what am I doing in this boat? And he asked Jesus, well, tell me how you do it. Tell me how to walk on water. I need the 12 steps to walking on water program. I need to make sure the success of the walking on the water program. Can you just download that to me right now, Lord? I'm waiting.
Yeah.
He was asking for an explanation.
Mm-hmm.
How to. Jesus answered with nothing but a one-word invitation. Come.
That's good.
Now hear me. You've got to learn how to respond to an invitation without an explanation.
Oh, that's good. Come on. That's good.
You must learn how to respond to an invitation without the explanation.
That's it. Just walk out.
When he gives you one word, you better come.
That's it. My God.
Oh no, we need to pray about that for a while.
Uh-oh.
I need 12 people to confirm it.
Come on.
I
Come
need
on.
to see a billboard.
Come on.
I need to hear a song come on the radio. I need something to confirm to me and hit me upside the head that the invitation I heard. I need 12 prophets to speak that over me.
Come on.
But Jesus gave you an invitation. And you're going to wait around until he gives you all the details.
That's it.
He's not giving them to you. Come.
That's it.
He's saying that to a bunch of you this morning.
Jesus.
You're hanging out in this boat, comfortable in the church. But he's in the middle of the sea of humanity. And he says,
Yes, she is.
come. Come. And only when Peter, okay, I believe that's Jesus. I believe it's Jesus. I believe I need to get out of this boat. And I believe. But only when he put his action with his faith. It went from not just I believe to I'm going to do.
Yes.
The minute he combined action, faith with works. Somebody say faith with works.
Faith with works.
When he combined works with his faith, the water got hard.
My Jesus.
When he combined faith with works, the water got hard and he was able to walk on the water. He was able to walk out on the sea of humanity in a miraculous way. As long as his focus stayed on Jesus. Faith combined with works with your focus on Jesus. The minute he changed his focus, ooh, what am I doing out here? And down he went. So when you act on faith for an invitation and you answer, you better keep your focus on Jesus.
Yes.
Because if you start looking at how ridiculous this looks, if you start looking at this is impossible, you don't know where I came from, and I don't have an education, I don't know exactly what I'm doing, and I don't know where the next connection is coming from. If you start looking at all the things that the storm represents, you are going down.
Come on.
You are going down. And here's the thing, all of the buddies in the boat represent saints. They represent your family, your friends. What are you doing, Peter? What are you doing, Peter? Get in the boat. Get back in here. What are you crazy? Get in this boat. You're going to drown, fool.
Right. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
In the ear.
That's good.
And the reason they don't want you to succeed is because if you are fearless and you obey God, and you do something hard, and it works, I'm out of excuses.
Come on. Come on.
If you try things a different way than we've always done it before, and it works out for you, my credibility is on the line. So a lot of times the people around you, they mean, well, get in here. They're worried about your safety. I don't want you to drown. I don't want you to fall. That might be a good motive. But more, I believe, is, okay, if she does that, then somebody's going to require works out of my faith.
Yes.
I'd just much rather stay here in the boat and sing, how great is our God.
Come on.
You just stay out there on the sea, how great is our God. I got my buddies and me, how great. You're having a good time in the boat.
Yes.
Come on.
But you're called to the sea of humanity.
Yes.
My God.
You've been called to the sea of humanity.
Jesus.
God says it is time for you to step out of the boat, to combine action with your faith and answer his one-word invitation without further explanation. And keep your eyes on Jesus, and he's promising you the water will be hard. You will have the ability to walk and do miracles. Because greater is in you than he. Greater works shall you do than the ones he did. He promised that you could do greater works. He promised that the miracles he did were just a tiny taste of what you were going to get to do. So I want to convince you this morning that it's time for you to move out, even if you are afraid.
Come on.
Instead of thinking of fearless as only one word, I can't move it on. Fearless. I'll move the men I fear just a little bit less.
Come on. That's all right.
The minute I fear just a little bit less, I'm stepping out.
Yes.
And he's going to meet you. Fear, which is doubt, because the real opposite of faith is doubt. Unbelief.
Yes.
My faith is challenged when I don't have any belief.
Yes.
It's just reason in disguise. Doubt is reason in disguise. Reason is a cause. It's an explanation. Reason is a justification for an action. Reason is the process of logic. It's the power of the mind to think, understand, form judgments, and make a decision. Reason. Or when I got a hold of the fact that the reason was an explanation, the lights went on me. Doubt is reason in disguise. We don't act because it doesn't all make sense to us. We don't act because we don't have the full explanation in front of us. We're afraid to take a step because we don't know everything that might possibly happen. But I'm telling you, all of those things that you're putting over in your mind, that reason is doubt in disguise. That's fear in disguise. So we want to come against that. When Peter was willing to respond to Jesus' invitation, requiring no explanation, he worked miracles. He worked miracles, and you can too. God said, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed. Be not dismayed. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will hold you with my right hand." When you step out of the boat, your comfort zone, and into the sea of humanity. Now, for many of you, I'm talking right here about stepping into the marketplace. Hear me. For many of you, what this is representing is it's time for you to step out into the marketplace. It's time for you to step out into the place where people are doing business. That you can become light and salt. Say, I am light.
I am light.
I am salt.
I am salt.
I bring flavor.
I bring flavor.
I bring clarity.
I bring clarity.
That's the point of light and salt. Light brings clarity and salt brings flavor. That's what we should be bringing to the world. So becoming fearless is going to require you to move at the very moment of invitation. When he says come, you don't just say yes, you say yes.
That's right.
You combine your action with your faith and you say yes before you wait on every little detail to be filled into your justification. Remaining fearless requires you to keep your focus on
Jesus.
Yes.
When you step out on that water, keep your eyes on Jesus and you won't drown. Keep your focus on Jesus. To live fearless is going to require you to block the messages of all those well-meaning saints. All those people, get back in the boat, get back in here, get back in here, get back in here. Many of you do have prophetic gifts, apostolic gifts, pastoral gifts, teaching gifts, evangelistic gifts. I'm challenging you this morning to go use them in the marketplace.
Yes, yes.
You don't have to put prophetess on your business card.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
There is no CEO that wants to invite you in to counsel him as a prophetess.
Come on. You better say it. Come on and tell the truth.
They're expecting a crystal ball.
Come on.
You don't have to put 20 titles on your business card. You need to get out there and do something that the world needs.
Yes.
You want it to be that the world needs what you've got. They're not interested in who you think you are. They're not even interested in your function. They're only interested. When I help people write books, here's the thing. This is the reason my authors are successful. And hear this, you that are going to write your story. Your story is valued. Every piece of it, every moment, every drop that you experienced is valuable. It's worth writing down. But it is not all worth publishing.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right.
You go to a feature film, it's about 2 hours long. Okay, they have probably filmed 20 plus hours to get to that story. And they have cut everything except what will hold your attention.
Yes.
So when you write your life story, write it all down. It's valuable. Write it all down. Keep it for your grandchildren. Celebrate through it. It's cathartic. Get healed through it. Give the whole testimony. Keep that thing. But if you want to sell it, somebody say sell it.
Sell it.
You better make sure you chop that thing down to only what's interesting to the rest of the world is what you're telling. They don't want all the details. They want the important details that take you. We get a picture of how bad it was for you, and we get a picture of how amazing and miraculous and victorious you are now. That's it. That's all we need. Cliff notes. So the same thing when you go out into the world, when you're branding yourself. I believe branding is a prophetic identity. It's you coming into alignment with who God says you are.
Yes.
It's allowed me, when I began to brand myself and know who I was, it allowed me to put a brand standard on how I acted and what I said, what I did. So think about this. If I work for Starbucks, right? Starbucks employee. Somebody comes in and orders a cup of coffee, and the Starbucks employee is like, you know, our coffee's really expensive.
Right.
I mean, like seriously, sir, it's really expensive. And actually it's kind of bitter. I mean, they say it's good, but have you tasted it? Here, I'm gonna hook you up. My brother over here works at McDonald's. Go down there and get yourself a cafe. How long does he get to remain an employee of Starbucks? Because Starbucks has trained their employees how to represent their product to the world.
Yes.
Starbucks is the best coffee you ever tasted. It's worth twice as much as you're about to pay. They're going to give you the company line. There's a brand standard connected to everyone that is involved in that Starbucks process. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Here's the problem. As Christians, as individuals, we maybe have not set a brand standard. And so sometimes when somebody comes to us for counsel or advice, or they just bump into us in an airport when your flight is 8 hours late and they're not going to give you your luggage. When they bump into you in that moment, I have a brand standard. So I'm aware of who I am in this moment.
That's right.
I know who I am and I know who I represent, and I know just like the corporate brand, every piece of communication that comes out must fit the brand.
Yeah.
Y'all can't be emailing stuff out on your own that doesn't match the brand. I can't be emailing stuff out of my own that doesn't match the brand.
Right. Come on.
So in that moment, when I'm standing at that counter, you know what? I'm just as mad as everybody else. I'm just as tired as everybody else. I'm just as frustrated as everybody else. I don't work for them. I don't represent them. I'm an ambassador.
Yeah.
Ambassadors don't get to choose their own words. They
Right.
have a script.
That's good.
So I have to stand there at that ticket counter with all those people angry and the managers not handling business well at all, not a bit of customer service going on. It's a bad situation. And I can choose whether I'm going to join the mob or whether I'm going to lighten the mood. You know what light I brought to that moment? Humor.
Mm-hmm.
I cracked a joke. Then I cracked another one. Then I bumped somebody and talked to them until we changed the entire mood of the angry mob.
Yes.
Because one of my brand standards is I am an atmosphere shifter.
Yes. Yes.
That atmosphere doesn't get the right to shift me.
Yes. That's right.
I can do that because I have a brand standard. Because one of my I am statements, and you can get, if you don't know about I am statements, get delivering on your destiny out there. I am statements will change your life. But one of my I am statements is I am a lifter.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I am like the tide. When I come into a room, all boats rise.
Yes.
All boats. Not just one or two. Just by coming in the room, every person that's in that room gets to rise because
Yes.
I am a lifter.
Yes. Yes.
But since I know that, I got to
Yes.
be a lifter in Walmart.
Yes. Come on. Yes. Come on.
I got to be a lifter in the doctor's office.
Yes.
I got to be a lifter everywhere I go because that's who I am.
Yes.
Great I am in me.
Yes.
That's a brand standard I must hold myself to. But if I don't have a standard, I don't know that.
That's
If I
good.
don't have a brand standard established, I'll just be whatever I feel like being in this moment. If I'm just hungry, I'm going to act out. I'll apologize later.
Mm-hmm.
But listen to me. If you belong to the Most High God, you better comply with the brand standard.
Yes.
And you better be that person to your family. I am the same person. It so blessed me long before I ever had a chance to speak on platforms long before I ever did that. I was the girl who served in the green room. I was the one who brought everybody coffee, made sure their needs were met, and did you have bottled water? And those of you who work with me, you know I'm the easiest speaker in the world to work with because I know what it's like to work with divas.
Come on.
I don't care what temperature my water is. I don't care what brand it is.
Come
I don't
on.
care about none of that. Just imagine if you emailed Jesus a sheet before he got you.
Come on.
And he listed the 12 brands of Perrier and whatever he needed in his room to minister to you.
Come on.
If that hurt, good. But here's the thing. Because I served in that capacity long before I ever had a chance at the spotlight, I decided who I was never going to be.
Yes.
The opportunity to be on that side of the fence.
Yes. That's
So
right.
not only does the brand standard tell me who I am, it tells
Tell me
me
who I'm not. That's right. That's right.
And some people who are having trouble defining who they are need to understand, well, start by defining who you're not.
That's right.
I am not jealous. I am not bitter.
That's right.
I am not a manipulator.
That's right. Come on. That's
I am
right.
not hateful. I am not difficult. I am not a diva.
Come on.
I decided I would never be a green room goddess.
Come on.
And I still go places and people will think, I'll go somewhere for the first time and you'll be in the green room with all the guests and they don't know I'm a speaker because I'm bringing them coffee.
Yes.
And I'm asking them if they need anything.
That's right.
Why? Because that's who I am.
Yes. Yes.
And who I am is never defined by the role I play.
Yes. Come on. Come on.
It's never defined by the job I'm holding at this moment.
Yes.
Who I am is the same. job I'm occupying, what hat I
Yes.
happen to be wearing at this moment.
Yes.
So that I better be the same. I better be the same. My kids call me Mo Mom because I'm motivational mom. The same motivational speaker that y'all get all the time. That's Mo Mom. I need to be the same person in all the places that I occupy.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
If you can become the same person, it's why branding is so important for you, that you know who you are and what you stand for. And, you know, some of you have met me and you know, what's an elevator pitch? And they'll introduce, who are you? Hi, I'm Wendy Walters. I turn ideas into money.
Uh-huh.
Wait, what?
That's right. Yes.
How many of you, when you have a chance to introduce yourself, and they ask you who you are and what you do, you start fumbling? Well, I'm from such and such state and city, town, and well, I've had a bunch of, and I have kids, and, well, you don't even know what to say. And now the person in front of you is just struggling to be polite enough to let you finish.
That's true.
But you made no memorable impression on them. The last thing they want to do is ask you another question that would engage in a conversation. Are you hearing me?
Mm-hmm.
And it's simply because you don't have clarity about who you are. But wait a minute. If you're light, child of God, you should be filled with clarity. So I want to encourage you and provoke you to clarity about who you are. Knowing your brand standard, who you are, and what you're going to do in this world. And it doesn't matter. It wasn't like I set out in business. When I set out in business, I didn't know the journey God was going to take me on. I didn't start in business to become a publisher. I became a publisher along the way because I'm just obeying God and walking through every opportunity He creates for me. I didn't know I was going to be a corporate consultant. I didn't start going, I'm going to be a corporate consultant, and I'm going to go to school for corporate consultancy. I didn't start that way. I just obeyed God and said, I need some ideas that will make money. Tell me, what do I know? What do I have inside of my head for God that's valuable that I can create products and services? And you know what? The more I'm out there, show me. I'm in the sea of humanity. Show me what they need. Show me what this sea of humanity needs so that I can create. It's no good for you to be the solution to a problem that nobody has.
That's true.
You need to figure out what problem somebody has and then become the solution.
Yes.
Can I tell you something? Your destiny has nothing to do with your assignment or your job title. You're going to have a bunch of those in your life. Your role is going to change. Your resume is going to change over and over and over and over and over again. Your destiny is not about the things you do.
Yes.
Your destiny is about who you become. Your destiny is going to have a ring that's going to be a single thread that goes all the way from birth until you pass into glory. That destiny is going to remain unchanged. Who He said you were and what He's called you to do. How He's called you to respond and show up in every situation. That's your destiny. Your destiny is not even about you.
That's right.
People chasing their destiny so they'll feel all fulfilled. And I'm in my calling and I'm 100% full. I want you to be fulfilled 100% fulfilled. I love my life. And I know people who walk in their destiny love their life. But my destiny is not about me. My destiny is about you.
Yes.
My destiny is about the people I'm going to interact with. My destiny is to point them to Jesus. And if they're right here, my destiny is to push them closer. But if they're way back here, my destiny is to push them closer. It doesn't matter whether I encounter them as an unbeliever or as a sanctified, spirit-filled tongue. It doesn't matter where they are in the journey. I'm a lifter. My job is to come and lift them up. And when they leave my presence, when people leave my presence, who've been at my table, had a conversation with me, you can watch. You've been at my table with me. You watch. You know what happens? Shoulders do this.
Yes.
Chins do this. Eyes do this. You can feel power coming into them as a result of just having a 2-minute conversation with me. Why? Because I am a lifter.
Yes.
I'm going to put steel in your backbone. And if you don't have one, I'll lend you one. I want you to have a backbone. I want you to know who you are. Stand up taller, straighter, stronger, and be ready to encounter the world in a different way than you did before.
Yes.
And you have the same thing. That you might not be the lifter, that might not be your calling, but you have something. You have something that's unique and different and a purpose for you that's unlike anyone else. And no matter what role you play or what assignment, our assignments change all the time. Assignments change all the time. If you're in God's army, you get sent to different duty stations all the time. All the time. So you better be mobile. Never, never, never make an assignment, something God meant to be a temporary assignment, into your permanent address. Because then you'll be stuck somewhere permanent you were never meant to be, and once the glory moves on, you are sad. So I just want to encourage you that you have a chance to move into something new and different and unique. So I want to do I don't even, what time is it? How much time do I have? Whatever. Till I got a plane to catch. Except my watch is set for my time at home, so that's really not helpful. So I want to do something with you. I want us to do be okay if we just did a prophetic activation? And then literally, I want us to take like a 5-minute break. And then those of you who are interested and want to come back, I'll talk about branding and business and publishing. Deal?
Deal.
So that way, if you don't want that, you can go have a cup of coffee. Okay, so will you just stand with me? Now come up closer now. All right. Well, and so I want to do a prophetic activation on you, and I want you to combine, and my keyboard player can come back, because that was so much fun. He's on his way. So, you know how we talked about combining faith with action? Faith with action. So here I'm standing in front of you, and I want you to know that I represent something really unique. I represent breaking the curse of poverty.
Yes. Yes.
On my family for generations, on my husband's family for generations, we both came from nothing. We both came from families that never had anything, never thought they could have anything, never would have anything. We both came not knowing a thing about finances, not knowing a thing about anything.
You're welcome.
And poverty's grip was strong on us.
Yeah, me too.
It just means lack
Amazing.
was in charge. It meant we were always going to work money for minutes. I was always going to be exchanging minutes for whatever money was going to come into my life. I was never going to have streams of income coming in for me. If I didn't work for it, I wasn't going to have it. Anybody been there? So that poverty's curse was over us. But here's something my family has done intentionally. Intentionally, we've broken the curse of poverty off of our minds, off of the minds of our children, off of the things that we say and the things that we dream about. I can remember we sat and we decided, you know, we never went on vacation. Maybe like many of you, vacation just meant grandma's house. The only vacation I ever took as a kid was go to grandma's house. Right? And maybe you did like one thing while you were there that was, you know, an amusement park, or, you know, you had one trip. That was vacation. Why? Because we didn't have any money. And then for years, as we were building the business, my husband and I used every bit of our vacation time to go to conferences and support businesses, and we just used vacation to do more things.
That's right.
We never took a vacation as a family. We saw other people go, and they fly places, and they stay places, and they go to shows, and man, that must be nice.
Right.
But that's what other people do. That's what rich people do. We don't do that. We have staycations. Anybody ever had a staycation?
All the time.
Just like clean the whole house. We watch a movie when we're all done, y'all. It'd be fun. Order pizza.
Right.
Anybody hearing me?
Yes.
So as we were deciding that we were no longer going to walk in poverty, can I tell you, it's not like overnight from when you make the decision to win the manifestation. Hear me. It doesn't happen overnight from when you make the decision until you have the manifestation. But you have to persevere in that thing through the contradiction of your circumstances until your circumstances begin to align with the vision you have for your life.
Amen.
This morning I named the day Future. I named the day Future. And it says, see it, say it, be it.
Yes.
So you got to see where you're going to go first. You got to see what you want for your life, for your family, for your finances first. Once you see it, then you got to start saying it and rehearsing it over and over and again. I'm not kidding. I would stand in my mirror and be like, you are a wealthy woman.
Yes.
You are Boaz. Your field is big. People come to glean from you. And you say to this one, go and they go, and this one, come and they come. And then you write them a check.
Yes.
I look in the mirror. You are a wise woman. The counsel of God resides inside of you. And when people encounter you, they encounter a living word of God.
Yes.
So you say it over and over again until you be it.
Yes.
Until what you're saying over yourself becomes your reality.
Yes.
Words shape words.
Yes.
Words shape words. Don't believe me? Read Genesis.
Yes.
Words shape worlds. You can literally shape your future by what you say.
Yes.
Every time you say, I'm tired, you just come into agreement with your fatigue.
Come on.
Every time you say, I'm fat, you
Come
just
on.
give your cells permission to soak it all up.
Come on.
Every time you say, I'm broke, I don't have any money, you're coming to agreement with the reality that the spirit of fear is asking you to reverence and awe on his behalf. I need you to change the way you think and change the way you speak so you can change the way you live.
Yes. Yes.
So we decided we wanted to go on a vacation. There's 5 of us in the family. All right, kids, where y'all want to go? If we could go anywhere, don't worry about the money. If we had the money, where would you want to go? The kids were like, London. Whoa. I'm like, Disney? London, Mom. We want to go to London. We watch the BBC a lot. We're kind of weird like that. I want to go to London. They wanted to view all the castles and see everything. So, all right, what does it cost to go to London? I wonder. Let's look it up. Hear me. For every dream that you have, you need to get the X factor.
Yes.
What would it cost? Instead of, that's ridiculous. We can never do that. How do you know? If you haven't even bothered to find out what it would take.
That's right.
So we looked up 5 airline tickets to London. We looked up hotels and we looked up all that stuff and we got us an X factor. We had a price tag. Okay, well this is what we need to take our family dream vacation to London. This is how much money we need. And my girls and I went to Hobby Lobby and we bought one of those red phone boxes. You know what I'm talking about? Because that just says London to us, right? We bought a red phone box and we started putting money in there. Right? And we know we're not going to London on nickels and pennies and dollars. So we started putting 20s in there, 50s in there. And maybe it was Friday night and we were all tired and, oh, let's just order pizza. Yeah, that's a great idea. Except
We want to go to London.
we'd really like to go to London. So how about y'all help me? Let's just go in the kitchen together. Let's cook something. And I'm going to go into my wallet. And I'm going to take that $40 we would spend on pizza. I'm going to go put it in the London fund.
Yes.
So we had a dream. We got ourselves an X factor. We knew what that dream was going to take. You know what that did? That motivated us to make daily decisions. There ain't nothing wrong with buying pizza on Friday night.
Right.
It's no problem. Except when you have a dream with a price tag on it.
Yes.
Now your priorities change.
Yes.
So what we got in there? There's some chicken in the freezer. There's some rice. Dinner's
Come on.
done. Put the money in the London fund.
That's right. That's right.
So here's the thing. We're like halfway through. We got a good bit of that money saved. And now the kids are like, hey, Mom, what? Can we go to Cabo? Wait a minute. What happened to London?
Right.
We're saving up money for London. Why do you want to? I know, Mom, but the beach. The beach sounds really good. We've never been. Everybody. So we started looking. So we look up. What does it cost to go to Cabo? Well, I'll be darned. We're already there.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So I was able to take my whole family, plus the new fiance. Took the whole family to Cabo, all expenses paid, no debt, no credit card.
Yeah.
Here's the airfare, here's the all-inclusive, and we just had a beautiful time. And we stood on that beach. You're going to hear me get emotional. This is recent. We just went in June.
Wow.
We stood on that beach and we watched those waves come in, and then we held hands and we cursed poverty.
Yes. Yes. Glory to God.
We cursed it off ourselves and our children and all the seed that's in their womb. That it cannot come back and have a hold again.
Yes.
Can I tell you right now, you can change the tide of your entire life. You can change the generations that are coming after you.
Yes.
It doesn't need to take centuries to break a curse. You can break a curse today and not allow that to have any authority in your life ever, 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 ever again.
Yes.
So this morning we're going to do, by an act of faith, we're going to take an offering. And I want you to name your seed. I don't care how much the seed is, but I want you to name the seed.
Yes.
I want you to name the seed. If you need to break poverty, there's an anointing on it right here, right now, right today. If you're ready to stop being Ruth and start being Boaz, there's an anointing on it right here, right now, today.
Yes.
This is a moment where I want you to plant a seed in the ground that you can go and write this date down and say, I made a decision. And I'm standing here not just for me, but for every member of my bloodline. All the people that are yet to come, I'm standing here and I'm declaring that I am breaking a curse. I'm standing here and saying I'm going to operate in the fear of God, and I refuse to cower to the spirit of fear for one more day.
Yes.
I'm standing here saying I believe I can have a different future than I have today. However broken I am, however messed up, however badly things have gone wrong, whatever my situation is, I can begin to change it today. Tomorrow, it'll be a little better. In a week, I'll be stronger. In a year, you won't even recognize me. There's an acceleration in these times. There's an acceleration when you will cooperate in faith and you will discipline your thoughts and your tongue. When you will discipline your thoughts and your tongue, there's an acceleration of faith. The water will become hard and you will be able to walk as a living miracle. Amen? Amen. Okay, so the ushers are going to come. Hallelujah.